And if I told you that there are secret marks, spiritual signs so powerful that only a few chosen women carry them, marks that cannot be seen with the eyes but are recognized by heaven, marks that the enemy fears, today I want to speak to you about that. Today I want to reveal to you what those signs are, how you can identify them, and what they truly mean in your life. Because if you discover even one of them in yourself, get ready, you are about to experience a revelation that can transform your destiny forever. This message is not for everyone, not for those who live seeking external approval, not for those who have made comfort their refuge. This message is for you, woman, who has walked through fire, for you who cried in silence when no one saw you, for you who were rejected, misunderstood, forgotten, but who, despite all that, deep within your soul feel that something greater is waiting for you. And there is, I know it, I have seen it. Today I want us to discover together the 7 secret marks of a chosen woman. Not many know them, not many carry them, but if you have them, then you also hold the key to unlock a spiritual power like you have never imagined before. And before I reveal them to you, I want you to do something. Write right now in the comments, God, reveal my destiny, because when you write it you are opening your heart, you are saying to heaven, I am ready. And at the same time you are allowing this word to reach other women who still do not know that they too have been chosen. Like this video, if you feel this word is speaking directly to your heart. When you do, you are helping to push this message toward more women who need to hear it today. Subscribe, activate notifications, because here every video is a key that can open doors you did not even know were there. Believe me, the second to last mark that I am going to reveal today could be exactly what you have been waiting for years. Stay until the end. What you are about to discover can change your life forever. Now breathe. Breathe deeply. Open your soul, because we are going to enter sacred territory. Have you ever wondered why there are people who seem to have been born with a purpose that goes beyond the ordinary? A calling that not everyone understands. In a world where many live to fit in, there are those who from birth were set apart. Women marked by a different destiny. That destiny did not begin when you first opened your eyes. It began long before. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 says it clearly. Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I sanctified you. That means you were set apart from the very beginning. It was not chance, it was not coincidence. God saw you, God chose you, God reserved you for something specific. Being a chosen woman does not mean being perfect, or having everything figured out, or being the world's favorite. It means carrying within your soul a divine assignment that not everyone will understand. It means having gone through harsh trials, having been misunderstood, and yet still standing, because within you there is a strength the world cannot explain. That strength comes from being set apart, sanctified, chosen. When God calls you, He does not do it because you are ready. He does it because He sees in you something you have not yet seen, a strength you do not yet know, a potential you have not yet touched, a mission that only you can fulfill. That is why so often being chosen hurts, because you carry a weight others do not carry, you walk paths others avoid. But in every rejection, in every hidden tear, in every deep silence, your calling is revealed, your destiny is forged. And that is why you are here, because you are ready to remember who you really are, because you are prepared to discover that the marks you carry are not wounds, they are signs, they are not weaknesses, they are heavenly codes, signs that something great is about to manifest. Stay, because what is coming is unlike anything you have ever lived before. A chosen woman is not the one who always receives applause, nor the one everyone admires. She is the one who endures the process without letting go of her faith. The one who, though she breaks inside, does not give up, because it is precisely that process that shapes the heart to receive the marks, those signs that only the chosen can carry. And now that we have understood what it means to be set apart by God, the time has come to enter into the mystery of those sacred marks. If heaven has written a purpose over your life, you can be sure that those marks are present, waiting to be recognized. Are you ready to discover them? Being a chosen woman does not come without cost. In fact, it is when we begin to become aware of the calling we carry that the storms rage, the trials intensify, the fire grows hotter, as if heaven were shouting, "This is my daughter, my chosen one." And in that same instant the darkness rises to try to stop the divine plan. But Isaiah chapter 43 verse 2 gives us a promise that never breaks. When you pass through the waters I will be with you, and when you go through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Still, those waters, those rivers are inevitable. Because the path of a chosen woman is not a quiet stroll, it is a crossing through storms that others would not understand. And do you know why? Because the enemy does not waste time attacking what poses no threat. If your struggles have been intense, if the winds have blown harder in your life than in others, it is because there is something in you that frightens hell. Your battles are not coincidence, they are part of the training. God not only chose you, He is also preparing you for a work so great that He must first refine your spirit, strengthen your faith, and temper your soul. There are invisible battles, those fought in the silence of your thoughts when no one notices, but you are fighting against doubt, against anxiety, against that voice that says you are not enough, you will not make it, this is not for you. And then there are the other battles, the ones that show up in real life, in doors that suddenly close, in people who betray you, reject you, judge you without knowing who you really are. And though it hurts, there is something you need to understand. Those moments are not punishments, they are confirmation, because before every elevation there is resistance. Here is the truth that changes everything. Those trials did not come to destroy you, they came to reveal you. Every tear you shed, every unanswered prayer, every time you felt no one was with you, all of that was part of the process. Those experiences mark your soul with invisible signs, marks that not everyone can see, but heaven can. And it is precisely in the midst of those battles, in those fires, where the marks begin to appear, because fire does not only burn, it also reveals. And now the time has come to discover the first. The first mark of a chosen woman is heightened spiritual sensitivity, a gift not many possess, and one that even you for a long time did not know how to handle. It is the ability to feel more, perceive more, to sense what is unseen. Sometimes you cannot explain it, you just know. You know when something is not right. You know when someone lies even if they smile. You know when a situation is dangerous, even if it looks normal. It is that whisper in the soul that alerts you. It is God speaking without words. In the first book of Samuel chapter 3 verse 10, we see Samuel being called by God in the night. He was just a child. No one expected him to hear that voice, but he heard it. Because God does not need you to understand, He needs you to sense. And if you have felt that inner call, that discomfort when something is not from God, that trembling when you are in a place that is not for you, then you already carry the first mark, the mark of a spiritually awakened woman. And this is only the beginning. 3 times Samuel heard his name and did not understand what was happening. It was necessary for the priest Eli to explain to him that it was God who was calling. Then Samuel was ready to say, "Speak, for your servant is listening." Samuel was only a child, but he already carried a spiritual sensitivity that set him apart. That same sensitivity is one of the most powerful marks I have seen in chosen women. A chosen woman can walk among crowds that perceive nothing. She can live surrounded by people who ignore the weight of words, or the spiritual atmosphere of a place. But she feels everything. She feels when there is a lie disguised as courtesy. She feels when the atmosphere is heavy with darkness even though everything looks normal. She feels when a situation is spiritually dangerous though no one else notices. And no, it is not paranoia, it is not simple intuition. It is a heavenly gift. It is having the eyes of the soul open while others still sleep. And although this mark is an extraordinary blessing, and it can also feel like an enormous weight, because while others live unaware of the spiritual, you perceive what is happening behind the veil. Sometimes it is so intense that it drains you. It is that voice that wakes you in the middle of the night to pray for someone without knowing why. It is that sudden impulse to intercede for a situation that seems unimportant to human eyes, but you know that in the spiritual realm a battle is being fought at that very moment. And why does God give this mark? Because you have been set apart as a guardian of the Spirit, as an intercessor in the midst of invisible wars, as a watchtower. You are the one who keeps watch while others rest, the one who prays for what others do not even suspect. This sensitivity is not coincidence, it is a sacred weapon, an invisible sword that cuts through deception, that unmasks lies, that reveals the traps of the enemy before they act. But it is also a responsibility, because not everything you perceive must be spoken, not everything you feel must be shared. This mark is not about showing power, but about fulfilling a mission, to protect, to pray, to watch. Samuel, when he answered, "Speak, for your servant is listening," was not seeking attention, he was showing readiness. And that is what this mark demands, to be awake while others are distracted, to listen to what God wants to show you, even when you do not always understand it. If you have ever felt that you perceive what others do not see, if you have felt things you cannot explain, that mark is already upon you. And now we go deeper. The second mark of a chosen woman is a heart that does not settle, a constant fire burning from the depths, one that will not let her rest with the ordinary. It is a holy discontent. While others are satisfied, you feel there is something more, something greater, something closer to God. There is a voice inside you that will not let you stay where you are, that pushes you forward, that shakes you when you stop, that reminds you that you were called for more. This fire is not human ambition, it is hunger for the eternal. It is that impulse that drives you to seek God beyond what others consider enough. It is restlessness that will not allow you to accept a life empty of purpose. While others are content to attend a temple or repeat a spiritual routine, you feel that there are dimensions not yet revealed, paths not yet walked, secrets of heaven not yet delivered, and you know that part of your mission is to go after them. This can be lonely, because when you carry this mark it is common that you do not fit in, that others say you exaggerate, that they accuse you of being too intense, or of wanting too much. But what they do not understand is that that too much is the calling God placed in your heart, because you were not made for the ordinary, you were formed for the supernatural. Your soul knows that you did not come to survive, you came to fulfill a divine purpose. And if that fire is inside you, if you cannot be at peace with the superficial, if you feel there is more that you have not yet seen, then you are beginning to recognize the second mark. Do not suppress it. That fire is a sign that God is still working, still igniting, still preparing, and what comes next will shake your faith even more deeply. In Philippians chapter 3 verse 14, the Apostle Paul declares with firmness, "I press on toward the goal, to win the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus." That is the essence of this mark. Because when a woman is truly chosen, she does not run after human applause, she is not moved by recognition that fades with time, she runs after the eternal, after that prize unseen by the eyes but perceived by the soul with absolute clarity. That fire burning in her heart is not anxiety, it is a divine sign. It is the constant whisper of heaven saying, "Do not settle, do not stop, do not get comfortable." It is a voice that will not let her drop her guard, that will not let her stay with what she already knows. It is a persistent call to let go of what no longer builds, to leave behind what holds her back, to cut ties that, though painful, pull her away from purpose, to leave places where her spirit cannot grow. And yes, that process can hurt, but it is the price to pay for refusing to settle for the ordinary. Because when you decide to follow God's plan for your life, inevitably you move away from what once felt enough. You are no longer interested in what attracts everyone else. You no longer find meaning in empty conversations, in shallow environments, in distractions that divert. While others celebrate what is temporary, you long for the eternal. While others seek comfort, you seek holiness. But let me tell you something I have lived and know many others have felt. This mark is not easy to carry. That inner fire is so strong that sometimes it weighs heavily. It is as if something within you pushes you forward when everything around you tells you to stop. It is the Holy Spirit pulling your soul toward the unknown, to deeper levels, to places you do not yet understand but know are part of your destiny. And on that path, often it seems you are left alone. People who once walked with you no longer understand you. Your passion no longer fits their interests. Your search is no longer theirs. But that apparent solitude is in fact a sacred space, because it is there that God begins to reveal secrets He does not give to the crowd. It is in the desert, in that uncomfortable terrain, where access to the supernatural is activated, where you realize that that fire in your chest is not a punishment, it is preparation. That fire is the reminder that you were not called to live a common life, you were chosen for the extraordinary. And although sometimes it feels like you are losing things by following that fire, in reality you are gaining everything. Because while the world settles for the ordinary, you advance. Because you know the goal has not yet been reached, that what God has promised is far greater than any temporary comfort. That is the essence of this second mark. A heart that does not settle, a soul that presses on, not because it is ungrateful, but because it has already tasted a glimpse of God's glory, and knows there is more, much more. If you feel that fire inside you, if you feel that force that will not let you settle, that restlessness that cannot be calmed by the superficial, then you already carry this mark, and what comes next, I tell you with all the weight of spiritual truth, will touch your faith at the deepest level. The third mark of a chosen woman is unshakable faith, a conviction so deep that neither the fiercest winds nor the darkest storms can extinguish it. It is a faith that remains firm even when everything around her seems to be falling apart, when God's promises seem more distant than ever, when what once felt so clear now sounds like a faraway echo, and even then she keeps believing. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 states it plainly. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. That confidence, that assurance, is what distinguishes a chosen woman, because her faith does not depend on what her eyes see, but on what her spirit already knows. This faith is not born on easy days. This faith is forged in the longest nights, when there is no answer, when everything seems silent, when no one understands the process you are living. It is in those moments that your soul clings to the invisible, And even when you do not understand the why of many things, you choose to believe, you choose to trust, you choose to wait. That is the faith that changes destinies, that defies logic, that makes the enemy tremble, that shouts to the world, even if I cannot see, I believe. Even if I do not understand, I trust. Even if it hurts, I continue. Because you know that what God has spoken He will fulfill, even if it tarries, even if it seems impossible. And if you have walked in that kind of faith, if you have believed even when everything told you it was time to give up, then you already carry this third mark. It is that inner voice that whispers to me that even if my eyes do not yet see it, even if my hands cannot yet touch it, God is working. It is a certainty based not on the visible, but on the eternal. It is the deep conviction that even when everything seems lost, God has not finished writing my story. And I know I am not alone in this. I think of Hannah, year after year humiliated for her barrenness, singled out and belittled. She wept, she prayed, she cried out, but she saw no results. Anyone else would have given up, but not her. Hannah chose faith. She bowed in the temple, broken, and gave God the only thing she had left, her faith. And it was that unshakable faith that opened the heavens. That surrender brought Samuel into the world, a prophet who would change Israel's history. Then there is Ruth. After losing her husband, with no clear future and no visible promises, she could have returned to the familiar, but she did not. She chose to hold on to faith, to embrace the God of Israel, and to walk toward the unknown. At first glance it looked like she had lost everything, but in reality she was about to find everything. From that faith sprang a line of descent that would lead to King David, and later, to Jesus himself. And how could we forget Esther? In the midst of a foreign kingdom, and at risk of her life, she had to choose between fear and faith, and she chose faith. She entered the king's presence without being called, knowing she could die for it, but she did it because she knew God was with her, and that faith made her the heroine of her people. Hannah, Ruth, Esther, women who faced the impossible yet refused to yield to darkness. For being a chosen woman does not mean being exempt from problems. It means continuing to believe even in the midst of pain. It is in the moments of silence and waiting, when prayers seem unanswered, when doors close, when dreams are delayed, there, precisely there, unshakable faith becomes a mark that heaven recognizes. And if you are going through that silence, if you feel God is distant, if your prayers seem to bounce off the ceiling, if you feel alone, remember something I carry in the depths of my soul. Unshakable faith is not measured by results, it is measured by the certainty that remains in the heart, even when there are no visible signs. If your heart keeps believing despite the pain, then that mark is already in you, and what follows goes even deeper. The fourth mark of a chosen woman is a heart that is broken but not destroyed. It is a mark formed by tears in long nights of solitude, in the moments when the soul says, I cannot go on. It is the mark of those who have been deeply wounded, betrayed, rejected, abandoned, but instead of staying on the ground, they rise with more strength than before, with a determination that can only be forged in the valley. Psalm 34 verse 18 says, The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and saves those who are crushed in spirit. I have felt that promise because God does not distance himself from pain. He draws near. He is more present in my tears than in my victories. When I walk through the fire, I do not walk alone. Every tear is gathered in his hands. Every wound is seen by his eyes. I know that brokenness hurts, but I also know it is necessary, because a heart that has never been broken has never been molded, and God does not form warriors with hard hearts, but with tender, surrendered, vulnerable hearts. In his perfect wisdom, he allows those seasons of pain not to destroy us, but to reveal who we really are, to move us to stop seeking our identity in what we lost, and to find it in what he has promised. If you have lived through brokenness, if you have felt shattered, alone, abandoned, but you are still here breathing, believing, getting up each day, that mark is in you. You are not less because you cried. You are not weak because you fell. You are chosen, and what you carry in your soul is proof of it. Now you know it. These 7 marks are not coincidence. They are not empty symbols. They are profound spiritual signs, invisible to the human eye, yet unmistakable before heaven. If while hearing each one you felt any of them resonate within you, do not ignore it. That means you carry a calling inside you that goes far beyond what you ever imagined. You carry a divine destiny. These marks are not bought, not inherited, not imitated. They are forged in the fire of the soul, revealed in the night of pain, in the silent struggle, in the prayer with no witnesses. And if you are here, if you made it to the end of this message, it is because you are not just any woman, you are a chosen woman. Listen to me well. The enemy will always try to convince you that these marks are weaknesses, but the truth is that they are your greatest strength. Because heaven has already pointed you out, because your purpose has already been activated, because what is coming over your life will be so powerful that no past wound will be able to stop it. Keep going deeper, keep praying, keep believing, and above all, do not walk alone. Share this message with another woman who needs to awaken. Leave in the comments the phrase, "God reveal my destiny," and activate your faith like a key that opens new dimensions in your spiritual life. Like this video if it touched your spirit. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because this is only beginning. Every teaching I share here is part of a map, and if you follow it carefully, it will lead you directly to that place your soul has been seeking for so long. And remember this: heaven chose you before you knew who you were. Now it is your moment to answer that call. See you in the next video. Keep learning, keep awakening, keep discovering what has always been within you.